Oh, Five of Cups. What do we feel like we're missing out on? What do we feel like we've lost out on mostly? Or what are we not allowing ourselves to move on from? If this is guilt, if this is a situation from the past, if this is something currently going on and you're missing out on something, what is it that you'd like to be more a part of? Or what is it that you want to be able to forget, or forgive and move on from? The Hangman, seeing things from a different perspective. Oh, I get it. So this is literally seeing how, while either one situation, one phase is over, you have the free range to do as you'd like with what remains. So I feel like there was a bit of sacrificing that had come into play. One, of course, you may have rather have not have gone in that direction, but the Five of Cups to me kind of tells me that there has been something that had to go. Something either that had to go or something that needed the space for what you want to create in the now, right? What emotions do you want to manifest into the physical? So I kind of feel like that was that really uncomfortable compromise of the situation. But the Five of Cups does remind us that we're doing this for something else. I think this whole reading is honestly telling me that you guys are learning to see what you either had to give up, what you had to miss out on, what you had to go through, and what you had to go through, and reminding yourself of the reason why you're doing it, right? Being in the moment, loving your circumstances, loving your life, loving yourself, creating a deeper source of self-respect for yourself, to fall in love with your partner more. Whatever those reasons may be, this sacrifice here was definitely one that was possibly necessary, and you see that in your life, or you have elected to make this sacrifice for yourself. And I typically don't see the Five of Cups as sacrifice. This is something that you usually lose. So I kind of feel like this was something that you had to either see from your perspective, as a positive thing, rather than you're no longer taking part in something. Okay. But it's not like a self-destructive sort of thing. It's more of like, it's empowering. You're trying to see this from a very empowering perspective, which is why we have the Nine of Wands here, guys. So I like this. I like that you guys are coming into it not like fearless, right? But I feel like at the same time, have been this sort of like, the situation, like I said, you've lost out on something, or something may have happened where you may have lost something, or perhaps, right, the sacrificial energy, which typically the Five of Cups in my eyes doesn't necessarily signify sacrifice, but I feel like emotionally you had to let go of something, or something had to detach from you, and you're learning to see it from learning to see the world differently, to get the most out of what you have now, despite what you no longer have. And I feel like that sort of process is not an easy one to go through, especially considering that you feel like maybe there's a lot going on your plate, you're getting overwhelmed, there's a lot that you're doing, and you kind of ready to kind of just, say, screw it. But you're hanging in there because you have a very naturally optimistic viewpoint on life. Saggies, we get that optimism from you, right? You see the world from a totally different picture. You see it from the bigger picture. You're not very pessimistic in this. I don't see very pessimistic energy here. I see how it can totally do a 360. And I'm sure, because in you guys, in Sagittarius, you have proven us before that either you could be extremely optimistic or extremely pessimistic. But I feel like you guys are choosing as a collective. And of course, with this amount of, evidence I can get from just this reading, y'all are choosing to be optimistic about this, and choosing it very, very aggressively. Not in a bad way, in the sense that, and I say aggressive, but you're fighting off the negative thoughts, the things that are telling you in your mind, or convincing your body to shut it down. Just say, forget it, go back to this. It's safe, it's familiar, it's in the same realm. But the reason why you're so aggressively being optimistic about it and fighting off a lot of the talk of you can't do this, or this is too much, or you're not enjoying this, or you can't enjoy this because right now you're having to sacrifice your time and energy towards something else. I feel like with this kind of fighting that you're doing in your mind, the reason why this is going on in your mind is because you are not the same person that left whatever that was behind. You didn't just completely say, you know what? I can't either do this anymore, or something was lost, like I said, or that sacrifice came in, whatever it was that reflects this loss here, you have changed with it. You've matured in some area, and I feel it's emotional because you have allowed yourself to see it from a different perspective and pursue what you've seen. Right? You're taking what you've seen and you went, I get it. I understand. It's not going to be comfortable. And you knew that going in. The Strength card, you already knew that this situation is not necessarily going to be the most comfortable transition, but with time, diligence, practice, scheduling, some sort of flow that makes things harmonious for you, you knew that it was going to be fine. And I think that's awesome. The way that you guys are taking your destiny from the rain by the reins, that's inspiring. And the fact that you guys are putting up such a huge, stance on this is so empowering. But the Nine of Wands to me is like, yeah, you guys are exhausted, but this is probably this is a huge amount of energy that you're putting out, saying, I want this. I believe in this. Even though your body and everything else is saying, I don't like it. I don't want to go through this. I don't really want to deal with this. This is just in the moment stuff, but you know that you have a focus and intention in mind, and that's bigger and better than hearing the response in the moment with things. You're not trying to overextend yourself, but you're being patient, you're being loving. I feel like the circumstance of the situation has actually slowed down. And I feel like that's what's kind of making you feel like, fuck it, let me just go back to the way things used to be, because at least things were moving. Things got slow. Things didn't speed up. Things didn't get super fast. Things got slow. And that's really where the whole, oh, nah, man, oh my God, do I really have to go through this kind of comes in. But but this time has magnified itself for you to look at yourself differently, to see who you truly are in this moment. Because I don't know when the last time you guys have seen yourselves. Actually really seen yourselves in a calm setting that isn't very speedy, that's fast, because you're moving so fast. I feel like you guys are saying, like, hold on, there's a part of me that I haven't been noticing. Let me take a look at this. And I feel like that was part of the sacrifice, right? Slowing down time to pay attention to the details, to notice the bigger picture. I know, to notice the bigger picture doesn't make any sense. Like, the bigger picture is always going to be the bigger picture. You're not going to see the details if you look at the bigger picture, but you're going to understand it in its intricacies by looking at it piece by piece. And I feel like that's why the Queen of Cups is coming up. There's like a magnifying glass on what you feel, what you want to feel, how things are going on in your life, like what and who you love, your ideal person, your ideal partner. There's a lot of energy that's surrounding what you love, what you want to experience, and what you want to feel. What do you desire? And I feel like you're in the process of being open to seeing that. You're allowing your body and your mind to say, hey, this is what I want. And you're like, yeah, okay, I'm listening. To your emotions. You may not necessarily be picking up what other people are saying, what other people are doing, but I feel like that's eventually what's going to happen, because you're so considerate of yourself. You'll be hyper aware of other people. But that's not, but like, who cares at that point, right? Like, yeah, that's great to be hypersensitive to other people. Right now, the biggest focus is what you want to do, what you want to feel, how do you want to feel. Now, the Queen of Cups could also indicate a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio that's in your life. Someone that's around you that's stirring up emotions, that's making you feel intensely emotional. Whether it's happy, whether it's sad, whether it's stress, whether it's anything really. Like, there's a swelling of emotion here. When I say water, I'm thinking of water swelling something. Well, like swelling wood. Usually wood is a good structure that in my head that makes me think, okay, somebody's soaking up a ton of emotion at the moment. You're being a sponge, soaking it all up, getting the information, getting everything that you need before expelling it, before doing something with it. Because right now you're just kind of collecting, and that's fine, totally fine. You're collecting. It's a lot of work to collect, because a lot of your body, a lot of your energy has to do with doing something. But right now, I feel like some of you guys may have either, you're trying to figure out your new purpose. So that way you could take what energy is swelling at the moment and put it towards something. Because right now there's no object for it. I don't know if there's an object in which you want to expel that. I feel like you guys are either working on it, or you do have something. It's just that you're trying to collect what you need to actually expel it. Because you have the High Priestess here in the future, which does talk about receptivity. not necessarily going out of your way to do something. That's a sign of non-action to me. But your advice is the Eight of Wands, which talks about things moving quickly, going with the flow, going with how things are moving, and not really resisting it. So there's not a lot of resistance energy in your upcoming cards, except for the one that's really in the heart, which is the Nine of Wands. That is defensive energy. So that there is a defensiveness to it. Again, how I viewed that is more of like you're resisting parts of yourself that's saying, let's not do this because it's not very comfortable right now. And you're pushing because there's a part of you that does want to see what you're capable of, to see who you are, to explore that part of you that you may not have had the interest in the moment in times to explore it. So like, and it's mainly because it would have required some slow time, sometimes of processing something, to absorbing something, to relearning something, especially if it has something to do with yourself. And if you haven't necessarily considered yourself very interesting lately, so I feel like the advice is saying go with the flow. Do not resist anything. Not necessarily like, hey, you go fast, you do this. But if things are coming at you really quickly, it's because you're gaining something and you're metabolizing it, and you're actually like you're legitimately metabolizing it. You guys are really good at metabolizing information, to understanding it, to seeing the background behind it. Like that's the reason why you and Gemini's are opposite. Gemini's take in information, you digest the information, you expand on it, you get the full scope of it. Right, where Gemini may be fast food, you're trying to eat a buffet, to say the very least. Like, it's like McDonald's against Golden Corral. And I don't want to use those terms in the sense of like, oh, you guys are like, the chain food restaurants. Not necessarily. It's just about the process in which you guys have to, have your information, the food being the data, and how you guys receive the food. Right? How much of that you guys actually retain? Sagittarians, you would retain more information because of how you see it affecting your life, the bigger picture behind it, right? Those minute details have a multi-purpose. You guys are beautiful in the sense of creating this beautiful element called multi-focused. So that means things that you have learned here can be repurposed and used somewhere else. And I love that about y'all. Geminis, they can do that too, but they're very good at absorbing information and using it at key times versus seeing its potential in other areas more than what it's being presented at in the moment. It does not to say that that's all they're capable of, but that's the nature of Gemini energy, and not saying that that's specifically the person itself. So I feel like this situation right now is like, it's coming to you already. Everything's coming to you already. It's just allowing it to come to you in a way that will help to see its the universal elements of the lesson that you're learning. Because there's so many things that you're learning right now that has multi-purposeful, and you can reuse over and over and over and over again. It's just about right now, it has a lot to do with your heart. It has a lot to do with what your emotions are saying to you. And this is why it's important to listen. Even though your body is saying, I don't really want to do this, and you're kind of like in the process of ignoring it because you feel like that part of yourself is what's keeping you back, that's actually the opposite. That practice is actually holding you back in some way. And the reason why, of course, is because you're trying so hard to push forward, you're finding yourself as well, and it's overwhelming. It's a lot to deal with. So if you just go with the flow, even hear yourself say you don't like doing this, understanding that what you're saying is you don't like doing it, not that you don't want to do it. Some of you guys, it may be straight up you don't want to do it. But I kind of feel like this situation is like you don't like doing this, and there's a reason why. And that understanding of why is the necessary flow in which the Eight of Wands is indicating here, to understand what you truly want, to understand your desires. That's literally it. This process looks like it's going to unlock a lot of keys for y'all. But it's going to take a lot of listening to yourself, the parts of yourself that you really don't want to hear, to understand what it is that can be multi-purpose, to be used in totally different ways, to have universal purpose for it. It's going to require you to look at that part of yourself. And I know that part is not necessarily the most fun, but trust me, that sort of feeling, that trigger that's being alerted to you right now, that is literally the rabbit hole in which you swim down to understand and see the source of it, so you can actually manifest what you want. I feel like you master receptivity here, because the Queen of Cups, she's good at it. She's great at it, man. Like, that's her class. That's her element. Receiving, loving, nurturing, noticing in a subconscious sort of way. And the High Priestess, I feel like, is the hyper version of that. The hyper version. She is the mega version of it. So your outcome is showing the Empress energy. Don't mind that energy whatsoever with the Queen of Cups, because you're literally doing exactly what I said, right? You're understanding how you feel to make it into something that is so. So physically put the seed into the soil and grow that. You're seeing your emotions as the root to what you want to manifest, and therefore you're just trying to figure out what it is that you truly want. And that's the process all in itself. Because the Empress energy, either you have a Taurus energy around you, someone that's trying to make what you want a reality with you. There could be someone that you find that's very attractive, that you love, and you want to create a relationship with. This could all have a lot to do with it. It could be more than just a financial view of it. It could be a relationship view. Maybe there's someone in your life that you do see the potential of, but you kind of are having tug of war with that. There could be a tug of war. But it could be that, there's certain things that you may want for yourself before even wanting to stabilize, and things are coming in now to help you experience that, to get you to feel more comfortable being in a relationship or whatever, right? That whole situation is so big. So many possibilities are so big. I can't necessarily rattle off every single one to you, but I can say that there is a super big aspect to the whole looking at your emotions things that actually has a lot to do with what you're trying to manifest in this very moment, at this very second, right now, as you're watching this. You are doing something super cool that I wish I knew how to do, but you're doing it so well that you're already in the process of manifesting it. You're already created it. Like, you've already created it. It's all about living through it now and seeing through it from your emotional state, from a state of emotional conjuring, not emotional conjuring, but emotional manifestation and overall desire, right? Like, you have this already because it's already in you. You just have to find it. And that's the biggest part. So with the Ace of Cups coming up in the heart of it, the heart. I don't know why I want to say heart so much, but I really mean the Ace of Cups in your best path to follow, the hopes and fears. Your hopes and fears with the Ace of Cups, that is obviously like the desire to start fresh, to not only, that doesn't just lead to emotional healing if there is any emotional scarring, which I can understand. If you just lost something, or you had to lose something or give up something recently, yeah, you want to recover, you want to start anew, you want to feel like a brand new individual from that, because it's not easy saying goodbye to something, or it's not easy to say, hey, I'm gonna put this on the shelf for a while. I can't, until I have what I want. Right, until I have what I need to get what I want, I have to shelve it. So some of you guys may be in that process at this moment. Trying to heal from what you had to shelve, or what you had to let go of, or what you sacrificed, or what you had lost, what's now missing in your life. There's things right now that are, that are making sense but don't make sense because your body is responding, or your emotions are responding in a different way to how your motivations are going. It's almost like you are in the process of trying to figure everything out. And the Four of Pentacles is your outcome. Retreating back to an old place of commitment, stability. Or it could be that you have excelled, surpassed what you needed to learn here, but get stuck again. Or you've noticed that you deserve more from where you are now with the Four of Pentacles. There's so many ways to read this. I feel like you're in the process right now of breaking from your comfort zone. So I don't necessarily know if this is you right now or this is you later. But what I can say is that you're noticing what you can achieve more of because you let yourself have a sample of it. The Four of Pentacles, in my eyes, is literally a sample of what you can have. Because where everything leads to when it comes to Pentacles energy goes to the Ten of Pentacles, which is the happily ever after, the relationship that you've always wanted, the finances that you've always wanted, the finances that reflect your financial, your emotional and mental stability and security. They will match you. You'll match your energy, match your vibration. Because after the 9, you've already seen that, okay, as long as I'm straight, as long as I've got what I need, things will represent itself to me in this physical world as how I feel about myself. So you, I feel like, will receive a sample of what this feels like. And you have the opportunity to expand this. The Four of Pentacles is not an expansion card. This is really usually meaning like, hey, you got to leave something to get more of something. But I feel like the risk of leaving or losing whatever this stability is, this comfortability is, will outweigh itself because of the potential, the unlimited potential of what this is. It's a lot of, probably, it may be a lot of work for a lot of y'all to get to, though. Some of you guys are seeing this as a lot of work. Some of you guys may not be seeing this as a lot of work at all. But I feel like this is like the key to unlocking Pandora's box. Once you've opened that box, y'all gonna be causing all kinds of mayhem. So everybody needs to just watch out. Watch out for Sagittarians, because they're gonna be rocking this joint. Oh wow, surrender to prayer. Okay, surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. Where you pray from your heart will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. Literally what I was talking about, family. Literally. You have everything that you need within yourself to manifest what you want. You just have to send out the call, and you have to live throughout the call. And I think you guys are not concerned about rushing the process. But you guys are definitely trying to understand why you're even going through this process in the first place. That's what I love about y'all. You're not even seeing this from a negative. And when you know why, shit's gonna kick into place. And y'all gonna be one unstoppable ass niggas like out here. You guys will be one hell of an unstoppable ass force. You guys are not going to do anything that isn't in your power anymore. Isn't in your light. Like, you guys are gonna be on fire. And I know, I'm sorry I'm popping off and gotten a little ratchet with how I just communicated there, but that's how I feel. I know so many Sagittarians and Sagittarian risings out here, even Sagittarian moons. My older brother's Sagittarius moon. Shouts out to him. My dad, my sister, my boyfriend actually are Sagittarius. Even my best friend is a Sagittarius rising. Watching them is so inspiring. And I get amped up for y'all because I'm thinking of all the people that I know that are Sagittarians. And I'm thinking of all of you guys out here that are my sisters and brothers that are going through things that are just maybe even unfair, unsatisfying, or just completely emotionally draining. Like, you're going through these things and you're still trying to find a way to strive, to thrive. Not just survive. Like, surviving is like, yeah, that's whatever. That's a given. I don't care. That's base level. I want to overachieve. And I love that about y'all. You guys were always overachievers. And what are the cards that we get here? That pretty much back what I'm saying. That backs up my ratchetness for just that 5 minutes there. I typically don't, I do lose my crap when I'm like reading for friends and family. But when I'm trying to keep it professional, I try my best. But with this moment I had to lose it. And the reason being is because change is unavoidable. This is not saying to me, when I see this card, change is unavoidable, I don't see this as the changes are happening to you. I see this as you are noticing that changes are necessary and you're making them happen because of how the card that's paired up with it is make the sacrifice. You know that something had to go. You know there's a space that needed to be made, and it was one that you obviously, that was a part of yourself that you do, that kept you safe, kept you comfortable, kept you grounded in some way for the time being. But now you're finding new ways of being grounded. Now you're finding new ways of inspiring the world, and as well as inspiring yourself. So you have got a lot of ground not only covered, but you're going to cover, and you will continue to cover. It's just the matter of the mindset, and that mindset is so powerful. Even though you don't have a lot of swords cards in here, I feel like the fact that there's no swords in here is a very big alarm system in itself. But like, and it says like the pieces that you don't need to hear are that the mentality behind, or the psychology behind all of this. You don't need to be necessarily advised or seeing something differently in your perspective, because how you've already dissected it here in the Hangman energy is already being applied. The Swords energy is being applied here.